everybody. Welcome to week 35 of Edge of Morality Lost Initiative, the proper week 35. If you were here last week or you watched the VODs, this week 34 and a half, we called it. It was like a little bit of a side story with Ander and Grommen kind of getting to know one another. And there was some interesting stuff happening last week.
There were Grommen spoilers
There was
in there,
a lot
man.
of Grommen spoilers, so you should go check it out. It's great. It was really, really fun. Also, big thank you for the music from Adrian Von Ziegler. You can go check out his tunes here. He's got some sweet Celtic music and stuff. It's pretty awesome. It's good stuff. Welcome back, Sam, from your road trip.
Hi.
that was a fun way. We were like, where's Sam? Where's Sam this week? Why is Sam not here? And I was like, oh, we gotta like. Then we went to your Twitter, and I was like, wait, he's on a road trip? Yeah, no idea. So we're like, oh, Sam's on a road trip. Okay, well, we'll do something different. So that was fun.
I thought there wasn't a show last week, which is why I went.
Did we talk about not doing a show last week?
No, there was never talk of that. I would not have rushed home from work.
It's all good.
It's okay because it ended up being a very interesting stream. We're not going to go way off the beaten path this time, but Sam, just to fill you in last week, it started off with the misadventures of Grommen and Ander getting drunk, with Rye just kind of like disappearing, being like, ow, because new city, go explore it, sort of a thing.
Right.
Then it turned into an hour of me explaining to Maggie that she pronounces things wrong. And then it's no. And then it turned into an hour of like actual deep RP stuff and trying to get Ander laid. He screwed it up. And then it turned into just banter.
Sure.
I don't recognize Maggie at all right now, by the way.
Too purple?
Maggie's the purple one.
Too purple?
Suddenly it's like the thickest glasses in the world and like purple hair.
I'm a ninja.
Also,
I'm a changeling.
somebody
I can't
commented.
say- Go ahead.
Somebody commented about our pronunciation of Tiefling, and they said Tiefling is derived from the German word for devil, which is pronounced tie. So Scott and I are correct. It is Tiefling, not Tiefling. Tiefling is incorrect.
I say tiefling, and I'm going to keep saying tiefling.
It all comes down to, Sam, that the actual people that run Dungeons & Dragons Wizards of the Coast, when 4th edition came out, which is garbage edition and no opinions from their matter anyways, but when 4th edition came out, there were a bunch of videos where a British cartoon host, was pronouncing it tiefling. One, anything pronounced British is wrong. And then two, he was pronouncing it, what was the other part of it? Oh, and, oh crap, what was the other part of that? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Why are we still talking about this?
I don't know. I was just wanting to get that in there. That's basically all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's right. The other part of it was just because you created something doesn't mean that your naming conventions are done well. For example, is it a GIF versus a GIF? The creator says GIF. The creator is wrong. It is a GIF. So there we go. Moving on. We don't want to do this again.
I do it all
Clearly you
fucking
do.
day.
You guys brought it up again. You want to go again.
I just like teasing Maggie. Is really what it is.
Sam doesn't have any thoughts on this. He's like, dude, you guys are a bunch of nerds.
Sam's like, can we just kill something now?
Sure. Well, we'll hand it off to Scott. Scott, you can, like I said, you can recap a little bit of what happened last week, but the VODs are available for people to go watch. Basically, I'm assuming you're gonna have to dictate to Sam where his character is and where Rye ran off to this time. So, you are. It's in your hands, Scott. Take it away.
Just very quick, because it was only a 2-hour one, so it's very easy to grab those VODs and get on here. Ander and
You'll
and
never
Grommen.
get that right.
Ander and Grommen.
Play a drinking game every time.
I have coffee.
That's
Ander and Grommen went off drinking and tried to get Ander laid. It didn't work out. And then Ander saw, because they took a drug.
I tried so hard.
Ander didn't want it.
So
got him like a hot chick, and he's still like nothing.
They took an alcohol with some sort of magic in it that made it act almost like an opioid for both Grommen and the lady that they fed it to. And then Ander took the drug, and instead of acting like an opioid, it acted like a psychedelic and caused him to go into this crazy vision wherein he saw just like tons of people's deaths. But more importantly, is a way into the vision, he saw Grommen's death. But he didn't see Grommen's death in the future. He saw Grommen's death in the past. And so it was this big, like, break on the can of worms. So,
like, what?
But there was more to it.
Grommen doesn't know this yet, though. That's only Anders.
Yeah. It ended with Ander passing the F out in his bed. after seeing it. And that's that. So
And
Scott,
Grommen tucking him in.
Yep, tucking him in.
Getting him a little barf bowl.
Thanks.
Nice. Okay, so let's keep going. Sam, what were you doing? Where were you while this was happening? So as we had just said, Rye wanted to kind of just step out. It's a brand new city. She needed to see the stretch her legs and get to know the new city. Both Ander and Grommen tried to find their way to a place in the city and struggled hard. It was literally one of those things where Maggie was like, "We need Rye," because they took hours to find a location that she could have found like half an hour. So she went meandering through the city, just trying to take in the sights and the sounds and learn the place here. And the ambiance of the city is very, like, it depends on the sections you're in. Some of it is actually very clean and nice, and there's nobility, and there are guards protecting the areas. And it's actually just like a bit uppity up, maybe a bit too stuffy for Rye, but definitely an area where she can walk around and feel comfortable and safe. And maybe people toss eyes her way when they notice the horns, but in general, people don't really bother her. And then there's the slum part of the city, the part of the city that really feels comfortable to you. It's kind of like where you grew up. But
Right.
one of the things that please.
No.
Okay. One of the things that you first notice when you go into the city is that everybody there notices you. It's like you stand out more in that part of the city than you did out here. You pick it up pretty quickly. And as a matter of fact, one of the things that would happen as you're traveling along that part of a city is somebody would actually get your attention. Literally, somebody would get your attention by standing in front of you and crossing their arms and being like, "Hey, Missy."
I try and go around the side.
You try to step around,
Yeah.
and he doesn't get in your way. And he goes, "Oh, you're trying to slip away like that?
Keep walking. I ignore him.
You think you could just slip into the shadows like your lords live here?"
I attempt to slip into the shadows.
So you're actually like, the funny thing is you can very, very, very well. So what do you mean by attempt to slip into the shadows? What's your goal here?
I'm just gonna dip into an alleyway and roll stealth, I guess.
Sure. Oh!
Uh-oh.
Oh, no!
Uh-oh.
Oh, God. That's amazing.
Oh man,
that's a natty
that's what
one.
Grommen.
It's a
Did
good
I roll
start.
the same thing, actually.
Good start.
It's a really. I rolled 4 natty ones in the span of 2 hours, so
I rolled.
Okay.
It was
it's
way
been like that
earlier.
for us.
So this is what happens. You go to slip into the shadows, and you do. You actually step perfectly into a shadow. And right as you step into that shadow and start to blend from sight, you've got Axel the Slayer with you and everything. You're blending perfectly in the shadows. All of a sudden, a door from the alleyway opens up, and a huge bright light shines out of the alleyway and directly on you, completely illuminating where you are and making it pretty obvious with you doing your like Pink Panther style, like up against the wall. And and so when you do that, the person that was watching you is not impressed at all. As a matter of fact, not only is he not impressed, the other two that are a little bit further down the alleyway, and the fourth one, I should say, that you notice standing up top on the roofs looking down, also don't look impressed with your skill at all, either. And he goes, "Did you really think you could slip away that easy? What are you doing in our city?"
Rye she shrugs. She's like, I did actually, and none of your business. And then clicks her fingers. I'm going to cast invisibility.
Okay, so you go to cast invisibility, and you do, absolutely. You turn invisible. But as soon as you turn invisible, almost immediately afterwards, the guy on the roof grabs a fistful of something from a pouch and throws it down below. And all of a sudden, your invisibility fades away as a whole bunch of like glitter, sparkly material, a bunch of dust kind of clings to your form. It doesn't show every single solid part of it. It shows your features.
Rye busts out in a magical girl song.
Okay.
Starts transforming. Ribbons wrap around her like knee-high boots.
Oh my gosh, someone make fan art of Rye as a magical girl.
Oh, God. But is it Rye as magical girl or Sam dressed as Rye as magical girl? Just saying.
Either. I'd be content with
Both?
either or both.
Or both, yeah. So yeah, they completely cover you in glitter, and you look down and you see yourself completely exposed, covered in glitter. You are right there.
All right.
He goes, tell Flom has no place here. They are human, all of them. Tell Flom has no place here.
Cool, I'm just going to cast darkness on the spot I'm in.
Perfect. Absolutely beautiful.
Infinite uses of just like, I can be hidden.
Yep. So the shadows, nope. Turn invisible. Nope. Darkness. And so when you throw the darkness in there, it is completely and utterly dark. Now, please remind me, Sam, does Rye have Devil's Sight? I don't believe she does.
She has dark vision, yeah.
She has dark vision, but she doesn't have the Warlock Invocation Devil's Sight, does she?
No.
That just means you can't see in darkness either, but that's not a big deal because that's not your intention. Your intention is to slip away.
Yeah.
So as soon as you that happens, as soon as you cast darkness and everything goes dark, you hear like one person reacts like, oh shit, and like crashes into something. You actually hear another person misstep, and then like a little clutter up ahead, like you hear a shingle shift, and after 2 seconds of silence, you hear poof, like really hard on the ground below, which just sounded like a sickening snap, and it was oof. That was not good.
The guy that fell, I'm assuming, do I remember what he looked like? I guess I didn't really have contact with them for long enough.
Yeah, you did get a look. We know I'm going to let you do because I know what you're thinking here. Why don't you roll for me a perception check to see? Oh God, you're just. Yeah, not rolling very well to start today, Sam. Sorry. So you sadly did not get a very good glance at him, but that doesn't mean you can't try something else. The other guy that was in the alleyway that was near you, you got a glimpse of him too, but I'm going to say just as badly, you did not get to see very much of him. As a matter of fact, the person you saw best was the person that stood directly in front of you.
Okay. I will disguise person as him.
Okay. Absolutely. Cast a spell into the chat, please. And with disguise self, you're able to look like the person. The one thing I'm going to have you do is, no, you know what? You saw the person well enough. You got in a conversation with them, slipped around them. I won't make you roll anything. You cast a spell to look like him. Which way do you try to leave the darkness? Because you already hear him, his voice, which you've heard now for a little bit, calling out, she's trying to get away. Quick, everybody hit the corners, get the sides. And you hear like several steps shuffling around. You also hear people in the crowd, like in the streets, reacting to this happening, and people just kind of like moving and running away. Nobody's coming in, nobody's drawing. There's very little loud screams or like sheer panic. It's just like, like a surprise.
So the door that swung open in the alleyway, can I just go in?
Yes, you can. You're gonna have to move at half speed. Make me an acrobatics check to get in there, like without smashing your teeth.
Okay.
Because you're fumbling through darkness.
Please don't roll a 1. All right, there's an 8.
It's not terrible. So you're moving.
I'm gonna use Doc One's own luck.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. Okay, you're working with the 13. So you start like trying to slip your way into that doorway as quickly as you can and quietly as you can, and you believe you did so pretty darn well. Do you shut the door behind you or leave it open?
I leave it open. I just head on in there.
Not a problem. You leave it open. As soon as you get in there, sadly, you didn't see any layout of the land that's in here. So it's while you're in here that you're going to be able to you're going to sadly like bang into something and cause a little bit of noise in here with your 13 acrobatics. You're going to cause a little bit of noise or whatever to happen. However, it's not unique because there were other people caught in your darkness in here as well, like the one that opened the door, right? So you do fumble your way through. Eventually, you come out of your own darkness and stand around an area where you can see. And what you can see is you happen to be inside somebody's house. And the person that's inside the house like kind of stops and like looks at you because they heard like a bunch of crashing or whatever, and you come bursting through a doorway, and they look up and they see you, and you're looking at them, and they just see a woman with like horns in her head or whatever, and they just let out like a high-pitched shrill because they see you there. But this is like you're in the middle of the house, and you could easily go out the front door or whatever.
Yeah, I'll just go out the front door.
Okay, sure. So you make your way out the front door, bringing you down a different path or whatever, and you're just gonna kind of beeline it out of there, try to avoid these people.
Roll stealth again?
Absolutely, of course.
All right.
Much better. There's the Sam we know. And so you kind of slip out, like you take a quick glance, you slip out the doorway and just kind of do your Assassin's Creed style, slip into a crowd and allow everybody to move about you, and you just kind of blend into the best of your ability. Best case is The best thing is, and I'm sorry, that woman wouldn't have done a high-pitched shrill because of your horns. It would have just done a shrill because there's somebody in the house, because you look like a dude right now. Either way, you blend into the crowd. Nobody seems to notice you whatsoever. Actually, people leave you alone entirely. The rest of the time you're making your way around the city, was there anything you were hoping to do initially in the city and kind of walking around? Or were you just trying to take out the lay of the land?
No, I mean, I got like so much money. I was probably just like shopping for shit I don't need.
Sure. So, eventually when she gets away from there, you're going to go over and find yourself a new nice outfit, something to replace what you're currently wearing. Obviously, your cloak you're happy with, so you're going to keep that. But the rest of your clothes, get yourself something nice and pretty. Were you looking for something magical, or are you just...
If there is something magical.
You're in Baldur's Gate. There are certainly magical wares that you can get your hands on. As to what they are and how hard it is to find them is a different story. Did you have anything in mind other than that wand?
No, I mean, if there's any kind of like magical clothing, that would be cool.
I mean, sure.
I don't know, man, like maybe she's just like browsing magic stores. What do we come across? What does she see?
I mean, there are, like I said beforehand, there's a ton of different magic stores. So if you take yourself out of the slums area, I'm sorry, my daughter popped in. She must have been crying.
Because of your green screen, it looked like you were just waving to someone in the market.
In the market, yeah. Oh, okay, little one.
Yay.
One sweetheart. Yeah, my daughter's real. She just said hi, uncle, to you, Mike.
Hi.
All right. So anyways, my apologies, distracted by the baby. So you're in the market, walking around. When you're in the slums, there's really very little that you can find of places that you can purchase magic items from without going to some particularly shady areas. If you're looking for an actual up and up store because you have a real coin to spend, you're actually going to head out of that area and more into the artisan district, where there's a whole bunch of places you can purchase from. Probably the most exciting place for you to swing by, and you don't have to go visit there, is the place is called the Hall of Wonders. It is actually a temple to the god, I believe, Gnarl Glittergold. And it is all about like literally some of the greatest wonders that his worshippers have created. And they put in this temple, which is effectively like a museum in respects to it.
Rye's looking to sell this wand.
Yep. Ooh. Okay.
Spend the money maybe on some magical stuff.
Awesome.
What, you don't want a wand that does random shit?
Kill me at random?
I was gonna say, you don't want a wand of 1 in 100 chance of death?
I still can't believe you did that on Grumman.
Yeah, that was a bit of a...
Like...
Okay, well, actually, I'm sorry. I misunderstood that you want to sell as opposed to...
When I did that to Grumman, I hadn't read the chart of the wand yet. I didn't understand the extent to which you could die.
Oh, wow. You were so lucky then.
And I mean, it makes sense. Rye wouldn't understand the extent of what the wand can do.
No, it's great. It was a moment of like, I am so curious as to what's going to happen.
I could have petrified you, but we didn't. Instead, we accidentally made you gigantic, which is fine.
Which is cool. Speaking of which, Grumman would love for like a way to do that more often.
Well, hey, hint, hint, wink, wink. You get this money now. So since you're looking to get rid of it, there's a couple ways you can do it. One is the most untraceable way, which is to sell it to a fence actually back in the slum area. Another is to donate it to a temple and in exchange gain favors or gold from the temple itself or trade it for wares. And the third is to go to an up and up shop and sell it or trade it there. Which of those sounds the best to Rye? Well,
I'm heading to this Temple of Wonders, right?
Sure, so sure.
Couldn't it be a charitable donation?
Absolutely, you most certainly can. So the what is it called? The Hall of Wonders. When you go heading over there and looking in, one of the best parts about this place is it is, like I said, it's absolutely beautiful. We're just trying to find out.
Is it one of those buildings where you're like, you crane your neck because you're stuck looking at like the ornate roof?
I mean, it is very Colosseum. Sorry, it's very Roman style with huge pillars that are built all around, all made out of like perfectly carved stone that has not seen any weathering or damage whatsoever over the years. The whole entrance of it is absolutely beautiful, as opposed to necessarily. Oh, you mean when you walk in, the ornate roof? The actual roof itself is completely designed in the inside to not look like there's a painting like the Sistine Chapel or something. It's actually the whole roof on the inside has like working gears and whatnot that's in there. What those gears do or what their purpose is, I have no clue.
Bumping into people because she's like looking up and not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, excuse me.
Inside the actual temple itself, there are a ton of different, again, they look like ivory pillars that are all about to have just incredible, priceless things sitting on atop them. Some of them have like maybe a bit of glass over them, much like you would imagine an old bank or so we're looking for like the over the rose in Beauty and the Beast. So a big piece of glass over it to make sure it's protected. Some of them are completely exposed, but have like a bit of rope in front of them to stop you from going near them. But I mean, this place is busy. You're by no means the only person here. However, it's not crowded, and it's certainly well watched over.
All right, cool.
Okay, so now you're in there and looking around and taking in all these sights, and it's beautiful. Eventually, you're gonna want to grab the attention of somebody that's inside the place, and so you're able to find yourself to somebody that seems to be of importance, and there is going to be a gnome in there that you can introduce yourself to. He clearly is the garb and everything.
Okay, right, kind of like clears her throat to get his attention.
Oh, by the way, what do you look like? Do you look like Rye? Okay, so he's like, yes, child, what can I do for you?
How you doing? I'd like to make a charitable donation.
That sounds absolutely amazing. What were you looking to donate? Was it a couple of coins or?
Right, kind of just like dumps it on the table in like a shoddy cloth.
This?
Oh, the wand you're referring to.
Yeah.
He's looking at it, he's like, and it's a very simple looking wand. And so at first he's kind of like, you know what? I would love to have this appraised and to find out its value and whatnot, because I imagine, you're sending this from the goodness of your heart, but I'd love to give the appropriate thanks on behalf of the temple. Do you have a little bit of time to spare while we look into this?
I know what it is, don't I?
You do, yes.
What's it called again?
The Wand of Wonders.
Yeah, so I guess like Rye kind of like scratches her face. She's like,
It's weird. I thought you'd know a Wand of Wonders when you see it.
Oh, this can't be that. Those things are just so rare. It's certainly not one of those things that you just bump across. And you know what? Even if it is, I would definitely like to double check and make sure that's real. You can understand that, right?
How do I know you're not going to run off with my wand?
I'll tell you this. If I run, this is where you'll find me.
Oh, you're no fun.
she kind of like shoos it like, it's fine. You can check it.
It's going to take a little over an hour. Would you like to perhaps sit and relax and wait, or just take in the sights of the temple? I can give you a personal guide if you'd like.
Sure.
Let me get one of the young acolytes. He might be fumbling over his facts a little bit, but it'll still be quite the pleasure. And with that, he'll kind of take the thing, he'll fold it up in the ruddy cloth or whatever that you had, and he'll walk off, and he'll come back with this like young, pimply, really hardcore, nerdy looking guy that comes walking in. He's probably like 14 or so human, and he's like, hi, I'm one of the apprentices here, and I'm hoping to be a jeweler one day, but they're making me learn how to curate first. So do you mind if I bring you on a tour throughout the place?
Oh shit, you got yourself a mid-puberty teenage boy next to a cute demon elf chick. It's gonna be good stuff.
Oh god.
You just call me a fucking elf?
Going on a tour.
I said a demon elf.
Are you shitting me?
Does he look like a Fey to you? Does he look like a Fey
I'm a demon human.
Sorry, demon human.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Jeez. Next thing you know, he's gonna be a Tanarook.
Do you just assume his race?
Oh God.
So anyways, you so the little pimply human brings you around the place and starts pointing out like a whole bunch of stuff. So it's going to be kind of fun because he does give you a whole bunch of fun facts and details about the place. I imagine there's nothing specific you want to know. If there is, feel free to ask. Otherwise, we'll jump forward an hour.
I'm just wondering, maybe. So is this isn't the stuff that they would sell, or is it?
No. This is the museum and the stuff that they have here to like put in honor of great creations and stuff like that.
Right. So there's like no magical items here or anything.
Oh, there are. Just nothing that's sellable. It's like artifact level stuff. And
there are other ways besides buying. Is there anything that might take my interest?
Absolutely, there certainly are. So something that might take Rye's interest. Let's see. One of the things that might grab your eye is there is a crystal that sits somewhere near the middle of the room and has, of course, its little basic protections around it and everything. There is a crystal there that's said to always show the truth and nothing but the truth. As a matter of fact, the crystal shows the truth so well, it can even find lies in written words.
Is it a small crystal?
It's looks kind of like an old school spyglass. Like it's about this large, but it doesn't have like hands that hold on to it. As a matter of fact, you're looking at it and it looks very similar to something that you already have in your possession.
My spyglass.
Okay. And so walking around, something else that would probably catch Rye's eye is there are in fact a pair of boots in there, a pair of boots that render your feet immaterial, meaning that you literally never leave any sound of a footfall whatsoever because your feet, the bottom of your feet, are no longer on this plane whatsoever. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things where not only do you not have any footfall, but things like water, surfaces like that don't affect you whatsoever. It's effectively solid for the purpose of your walking on. I mean, the little boy that's walking around with you and explaining things to you, he's like, some people even theorize that with this, you could walk on a thick enough cloud. Because, clouds aren't just air. They're a little bit more solid. So, I mean, maybe.
All right. How would I go about trying to steal these boots? Because they sound incredible.
Do you ask him that?
You have so much money.
No, I'm asking you.
Okay.
They don't tell them to me.
Yeah. So you're just trying to like look about the place and just kind of like get a bit of a casing of just like a quick cursory case of how
joint on my tour, right?
Yep. All right. So roll for me an investigation check. So honestly, the boots
not really rolling very well today.
The boots have a rope between you and them. And there are a few guards about that would probably notice if you just ran up and reached for them. However, if you were invisible, the guards wouldn't be able to see you step over the rope or grab for the boots. However, if there are any other protections, you honestly can't see them whatsoever. There is no glass between you and these boots, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll just case it for now.
Mm-hmm.
Continue my tour.
Sure. And so you continue walking around and looking at other things that might catch your eye. One of the other ones is a sword that dances on its own. It's literally a sword that after spending just a day's time practicing with it, it literally learns your way of fighting and can completely mock it and copy it. Not because it's a magical sword that can fly around and dance on its own, just because it has an enchantment that does that, because the sword itself has contained within it one of the greatest swordsmen that have ever existed. And he learns your style. And so he does his best to mock your style at all points in time. As a matter of fact, the sword itself is a little haughty and will often challenge you to a duel to see who is in fact the better fighter. However, he can perfectly mock your sword style whenever you need him to.
God damn it. I mean, that's not super useful to me, and Grauman has like 17 weapons.
Give it to Grauman.
Rye's particularly interested about the boots, but there's no point in trying to steal them until she's concluded her business.
Mm-hmm. The next item that catches your eye kind of brings a tear to it. You come over and you actually find a mug that is always full of halfling mead. It never empties of halfling mead. As a matter of fact, not only does it never empty of halfling mead, it is some of the greatest mead that has ever been crafted, like the perfect vintage.
Anders needs that.
That has theoretically ever been created, and it's always full of that. And the best part about this mug isn't just the fact that it's always full, but at the same time, asking the mug to deliver you just a quick glass of water will completely cure any drunkenness or hangover at any point in time.
Right, kind of like rolls her eyes. It's just like,
I know someone that'd be perfect for.
Yeah, but he's in Slippery Moon.
She doesn't press it.
I
was talking about fucking old hip flask over there, actually.
Yeah.
Old
fucking
hip flask.
Anders.
Yo, that is some quality stuff.
Oh, funny.
Is my hour up?
So eventually you got a tour of the whole thing, and then eventually the person comes over, and he's like, and he actually looks genuinely happy to bump into you, and he's like, oh, I never caught your name.
Rye.
Well, Rye, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Barnable. It is genuinely a pleasure to meet you. This is, in fact, genuinely what you claim it to be, and I am. Could we step to somewhere a little bit more private to speak?
Of course.
And so he leads you to a back room.
There's guards waiting.
He leads you to a back room.
Why don't you take a seat right there?
A nice, comfortable-looking place. He doesn't have like a desk that he sits behind. It's got 4 very large and plush and comfortable-looking chairs, and he gestures for you to take a seat in one of them, and he himself takes a seat in a different one. And do you sit or stand?
She sits.
Okay, she sits down. And he's like, I am genuinely excited to see this. I am genuinely happy that you're willing to donate this to us. And I think that you and I could certainly come to terms that would make you very happy with the donation yourself. However, we do, of course, have rules that I must abide by before I can just take any donation coming in. So I have to know a little bit of information first, if you don't mind.
Ask away.
Rye, where do you hail from?
Where do I hail from?
Showtown of, I can't remember the name of the city off the top of my head.
I knew Showtown, I just couldn't remember the city's name.
Thesk is the name of the continent, and the city, the country.
I say Thesk.
It is Fasant is the name of the city.
Yeah. All right, Fasant and Thesk, sure.
That's very, very, very. I'm not very familiar with Fasant, but I do know Thesk. That's very far away from here. Mm-hmm. And the names of your closest relatives, preferably your parents.
None of those.
Oh, none of those. Okay. I'm assuming that you're an orphan then?
Yes.
Makes sense. No offense, but I can hear your accent and know where you're from now. Makes perfect sense. So this wand itself, how did you procure it? Was it on an adventure?
It was.
Perfect. And did you procure it from, say, a monster or a creature that you were coming against? Where was it?
Rai goes full story mode. She's like,
an evil wizard in a cursed tower.
Oh, terrific. Not technically inaccurate. An evil wizard in a cursed tower. Oh, that's interesting. So you were hunting down this wizard? What was the...
Stumbled upon the tower, trapped inside, killed wizard to escape.
Okay, so as she goes stumbled upon the tower, all of a sudden something happens where like the word stumbled actually stumbles its way up your throat. You choke on it for half a moment. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
fuck, has he got that glass on me?
Oh, if only you were in my sight. Oh, I can see you.
Will saving throw?
A wisdom saving throw, yes.
Wisdom, right.
As you roll your saving throw, one of the things I am going to tell you is, because it's just the nature of the magic, you know that you are sitting inside of a zone of truth. You are sitting inside of a zone of truth, and because of that, anytime that you go to lie, you're going to have to make a save, and if you succeed, you can say the lie. If you don't, then you're not going to be able to say the lie. Your 16 actually succeeded. Okay. So you go to say the lie where we stumbled across the tower, we're trapped inside, and killed the evil wizard. Oh, terrific. And you identified this wand how?
I used it on a friend.
Oh. Are they alive?
Yeah, well, they're fine.
Oh, it's a little reckless, I must say.
Right?
Okay, well that's frightening, but I'm sure this is why you're looking to discard it, perhaps for your friend's safety, perhaps for your safety from the ire of your friend.
Exactly.
Okay, well, this wizard, the evil wizard that you came across and killed, what was his name?
No idea.
She actually did know the name of the wizard, so by saying that, you're in fact lying.
Do you have inspiration? You can re-roll.
Well, maybe she
Can I
didn't
legitimately
need to say.
Can I legitimately just not remember his name? Like,
I imagine you do remember his name, right? Because you had multiple conversations with him.
Me, as the player, do not remember his name.
To be fair, I think I, as a DM, don't remember his name.
Which person is this?
There we go. No one remembers his name.
It was the wizard that teleported you guys here and had you use the big folding portable hole.
The Nesling?
Was it? No, that wasn't.
No, that was Greg, the one that gave me Gregory's thing, right?
I cannot remember his name. Oh God, it's killing me. Damn it!
Right chokes, and then she's like,
I can't remember.
it's canon. No one can remember.
Damn it! Oh crap! I have to let this go because I can't remember the name.
I can't remember either.
Damn it! No! Okay, I will have to let this one go because of that. Okay, she genuinely can't remember the name. So she goes to lie, and then she's like, I don't remember the name because she can't say never got it or whatever. So you slightly change your lie into a truth that works.
Okay.
And so
the wizard that teleported us? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was. And he was
Maggie,
kind of a.
How about you don't remember? Because then I have to roll a dice. So right now, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one remembers. Okay.
He's like.
I feel like normally I write down names for everything, so that's so strange that I wouldn't write it down. That's all.
Apparently, Maggie, this is destined. Real life, this is destined.
Maggie's
okay.
like the worst.
I literally have a section that's called NPCs, and then I write down all their names, and I like write notes on them, and I don't have.
Maggie's like in this specific situation, she's the worst friend to have playing D&D.
What's funny is I keep looking at chat to see if chat remembers, because luckily they usually remember everything, but nobody remembers his name.
No one knows.
Like,
no one knows.
Damn it!
I don't think you ever said it because I would have wrote it down. As soon as I hear a new name, I write it down.
I'm gonna have to go back to that VOD now. But
Like
anyways,
right now, we've got Barnable.
yeah. But we'll keep going. So
Okay.
he's like, okay, all right, it makes sense. Where was this wizard's tower that you stumbled across? You actually do know that was up in the city of Waterdeep.
Waterdeep.
Oh, I did hear that there was a necromancer that lived off the shore of Waterdeep for a little while, but I'm pretty sure that he was handled.
They just keep popping up, don't they?
I know, it's like weeds, right? Every time you rip out one old evil wizard, another one pops in to take their place, like they need to fill the void or something. It's very frustrating.
Right leans in and winks, and she's like,
Between you and me, though, business is good because of it.
Well, you seem to be a woman of talents. I mean, you and your friends were able to use this blindly. That's impressive. And able to not harm anybody while doing so. That's lucky. You have those two things on your side. And you're obviously generous. So I imagine Lady Luck looks over you very well. So that's a good thing. With this, right, why don't you, because you've been so charming the entire time, why don't you roll me a persuasion check because of your charm to kind of like, because you've been so amicable.
okay.
Do you want to use your Dark One's luck? Because I know you can. It's been a long time since the last time you used it.
Is it? Didn't I use it at the beginning of the session?
You did, but it's not a long rest thing. It's a short rest thing.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
17.
With that one, so he's like, I'm done asking you questions. Clearly, you got this from some evil wizard off yonder, and we just need to come to terms here. So, unfortunately, the value of this thing, just paid out to you in gold, is not something I can do very easily. We're only allowed to give out so much gold at a time, and I don't think you would find the amount I'm willing to offer you to be worth your while. So instead, I'm willing to make a trade with other things that we've collected along the way, if you're more interested in that.
Sounds wonderful.
Certainly, I'd be more than happy to do that with you. Now, there are so many things in the wares and so many things locked in the vault that I could be down there for hours with you trying to hand select through something. So if you have any form of direction, I will certainly be able to assist you. Were you looking for something to help you in your adventures, or are you looking to help you in your more relaxed life?
I would say adventures.
Oh, for your adventures, certainly. And what thing for your adventures are you looking? You're capable of handling wands. Are you yourself a sorceress?
Of sorts, yes.
Are you looking for something to enhance your magic or something to enhance your prowess? And he looks to the sword that you have at your side.
Oh, that's just for show.
completely understand. You should have seen the broadsword I used to carry. Oh man, it's listen. A gnome with a sword is quite the
I like how every one of us just face palms.
You're just like,
he's like, so something to help with your magical prowess then. Are you somebody who reads from a book? Are you somebody that needs perhaps some rituals you'd like to get your hands on? Or are you somebody who more of a sorcerer?
I'd say I'm more of a sorcerer. Alternatively, I'm quite the sneaker. So anything, boots, magical boots, or any kind of sneaking things. I like those. Yes.
I do have with me now, and you can kind of roll me an insight check as you see him kind of like thinking for a second.
Okay.
Oh, man. Sorry, Sam. So
I'm just crap today. So.
No, that's fine. It just means I cannot give you insight. You just go based off your RPing. So he goes, I don't know. Yeah, well, I do have a pair of boots that you might find interesting. They were crafted a long while ago by an elven lass. She was incredibly good at tanning. They're beautiful leather boots. They have an old dwemer weaved into them that make them fall to the ground more silence than most boots could possibly do.
Oh, go on.
So these boots, when you wear them, they certainly muffle the sound of a falling foot. I imagine this is one of the ways that you were able to make it. Listen, I'm not here to judge the way adventurers complete their tasks. If you're killing evil wizards, I'm happy no matter how it is you go across doing it. So please understand, this is a safe space here, okay? So,
Right does it back.
he's like, so the boots, so whenever your feet fall, it muffles the sound for you incredibly so. But more important than that, when your feet fall in the woods, they make no sound whatsoever. You step on the crunchiest leaf you've ever come across, and that leaf makes not a single crackle.
He's talking about different boots to the ones I saw, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
Anything besides boots?
Other than boots that would help you in your sneaking? Absolutely, certainly. Let's see. There is a ring that has the ability to render you invisible for short periods of time. I mean, I don't know if you'd find that particularly useful. You're a sorceress, right? I imagine you could already do that.
I can already do that.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling off of you. You give me powerful vibes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course, not a problem. How about something instead of more to enhance yourself, something to harm your enemies? Perhaps something that could,
Ooh.
well, you move quick, of course, right? But what if your enemies move slower?
Go on.
Are you interested in the idea of a wand for a wand? The wand instead that you take would be one that can cast the spell that can slow enemies of yours, slow them incredibly so.
I don't think so.
No, is that not something you're interested in? Okay.
It's just more work.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not a problem. Enhancing the ability to steal things. I've got it. Oh, he looks at you.
I was taken aback by that because she definitely never said steal things. But she's like, okay.
He snaps his fingers together like a eureka moment, and he's like, "Do you like rings?" And he looks at your hands, and I think you're wearing 3 of them.
Yeah, I say so.
If you're not overladen by them, I have a ring that has the ability to pick any lock. Well, almost any lock.
Go on.
I already have 30 sleight of hand.
What is your sleight of hand? Oh my god, it is
Plus
incredible.
10.
Yeah, it's plus 10. So
I don't even know if this ring would benefit, would it?
Well, I mean, technically speaking, it is the spell Knock, which is a second level spell that you do not have access to as a warlock. And so the whole idea is Choose an object you see within range. The object can be a door, box, chest, set of manacles, padlock, whatever. Target that is held shut by a mundane lock or that is stuck or barred becomes unlocked, unstuck, or unbarred. If the object is multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked, which is the downside to if there's only one casting. We didn't go into that yet. If we choose a target that's held shut by arcane lock, that spell is suppressed for 10 minutes, during which time the target can open and shut normally. And the whole idea of the arcane lock thing is, remember that shop that you just went into, you weren't allowed to pull anything off of it? That would have used a version of arcane lock to make it so things are like sealed magically to the counter so they couldn't be stolen. Things like that would even come loose for 10 minutes. If they were left there, then they would restick. So he's like, a ring that has the ability to unlock any lock. Now, I don't want to offer this to most people, but you clearly are somebody who's very talented in what you do. Is that something you'd be interested in? Or did I overstep my bounds in making the assumption that you do such activities?
Oh, when you cast a spell, a loud knock, audible from as far as 300 feet, emanates from the object.
I didn't read that part aloud.
Huh. Right, kind of.
Not really.
Very well, then. I have the final thing to give to you. And with that, he gets up and he walks out of the room. And he comes back with an amulet. And he puts it down in front of you. He's gone for several minutes, but he comes in, he takes the amulet and he puts it down in front of you. The amulet itself does not look very warm or welcoming. It does not look very kind. It clearly looks like something that was been crafted by, who knows, something evil, whatever it might be. Okay. And inside the mouth of this beastly looking creature that the amulet is depicting is a large red gem, perhaps a ruby, that's inside there. The ruby itself looks to be just a plain old large ruby. Do you reach down to pick it up?
Yeah, can I examine it?
Yep. As soon as you go to pick it up, the ruby starts to glow a little bit. And he's like, aha! I had a feeling. You are so silver-tongued. Oh, man. You're not a sorceress, are you? You've made pacts for your power, haven't you? Yes, you have. You're a warlocktress.
Warlocktress.
Oh, I used to use the frame witch, but then like both witches and warlocks were like upset by it. But you're not really a warlock because you're not a man. I don't know. Do you assign gender to things like this?
Not really sure.
Yeah, me neither. Warlocktress it is then.
Anyway, you got me.
Well, what this does right here is warlocks, they have innate ability to use some pretty powerful magics. What this does right here is it enhances the power of those magics, making them far greater. Can we have an example?
Sure.
Could you put the amulet down for a second? Here, I'll take it from you.
And she hands it to him.
He goes over and he picks up a couple of candles and he puts them on top of like the mantle where a fireplace is, right? He lines up 4 candles over there and he's like, do me a favor, hit as many of those candles as you can at once with some of your simplest magic.
Okay. Would that just be like thaumaturgy?
Or Eldritch Blast.
Oh, you just Eldritch Blast the candles?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So when you cast Eldritch Blast, 2 bolts come flying out and hit 2 different candles, and just like, the candles go flying backwards, splat somewhat against the wall, somewhat melted, somewhat just destroyed from the thing. He's like, you're even more talented than I thought. Look at that. You can do 2 blasts. That's impressive. Now watch this. And he goes and he gets another candle because he only put 4 up there, and now there's only 2 left. And he puts the 3rd candle up there, and he's like, fasten that amulet round your neck, and then cast the spell.
Okay. Right.
When you do so, you see 3 blasts come flying forward and hit all 3 of the candles at once.
Right whistles, and she's like,
oh, I think we have a deal.
There we are. I do want to let you know that it doesn't just work for that one spell. It works for a few of your simplest spells. I wouldn't know all of them off the top of my head, as I'm not a warlock or warlocktress myself. So you're going to have to figure that out with a little bit of experience, but I'm sure you'll find some unwitting evil creature, preferably kobolds, for you to practice that on.
I'll dedicate my next kobold to you.
Well, Well, I'll be damned. That is one of the nicest things somebody's ever said. Oh, man, I hate those little creatures. They're disgusting, aren't they?
They sure are.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? For that, I'm just going to let you know that you and your companions, I imagine you guys are travelers, have a free lifetime pass to this museum. I mean, you are just a pleasant young lady, aren't you? And he actually will go right over to an area, pull out a drawer, and he has literally four golden tickets. He assumes the magic party number is 4, because it always is. Mm-hmm. And he hands you 4 golden tickets to this museum.
Okay.
He's like, that's for life. These things are set to you. And as long as you live, you're welcome to come in and visit this museum as often as you like.
Riley looks overly excited. She's like,
wow, are you sure?
Absolutely, but during operational hours only.
They'll be so excited.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Any friend of yours, I'm sure, is equally pleasant.
Oh my, look at the time. I should be off.
Absolutely. You have yourself a great day, and it was a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
Oh, God.
Right, shakes his hand, and she turns around, straight poker face.
Mm-hmm.
The smile vanishes. She opens the door, leaves the room.
Okay.
Do I remember where those boots are at?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, let's, Can I survey the area by the boots again?
Sure, make me a perception check. Unless you're doing like spending a significant amount of time staking out, perception check to do a quick look.
How much time would be a significant amount of time?
5 to 10 minutes, as opposed to walking past them or walking to them.
I'll use my golden ticket to examine the nearby relics.
Sure.
For 10 minutes.
Absolutely. So you're walking around and looking at everything, and when you do so, you are examining the relics or whatever, and you make for me your investigation check.
Okay. At advantage, right? Because I'm staking it out.
Not an advantage. So
why?
You got inspiration. You could use it and re-roll.
There are
inspiration for the theft.
There's a rope between you and that, and a couple of guards that would probably notice you go over and grab it.
How many guards?
Roll for me a perception check on this one, because you definitely notice that there's guards. But how many in this moment? There is probably going to be 3 guards that can see you at any point in time. If you time it well, you could probably get that down to 1.
Okay. Here's my plan. I want to... How would I get it down to 1?
If you time your action of doing it perfectly. So to time it perfectly, I would just say that on top of the sleight of hand check, which you're already, I would allow you to make a, give me 1 second, an intelligence check, just a flat intelligence check for the timing. Don't worry, if you roll poorly, the worst case scenario is 3 of them will see you versus 1. Okay. So
no big deal. They'll see you stealing and.
I mean, if I'm invisible, no one's
ancient booties
gonna see me. I hope, but
yeah. Nobody's gonna see you anyways while you're invisible. Yeah. But the idea is how many people are actually watching the item. You know what I mean, or watching this area. So so you try to time it perfectly, but what's your action?
Okay, here's what we're gonna do.
Sam, do you want us to go to break and come back?
Yeah, why don't we take a break on this cliffhanger? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. We will be back in just a few minutes as Sam plans to thieve from the Temple of Wonders. And we'll see how that goes in a few minutes. Go grab a drink, do what you got to do. We'll be right back.
Chat, feel free to toss Sam ideas. I'm sure he'd like to hear some of them.
Sounds good.
Have Grumman come distract them.
Oh, God.
No. All right, we'll be back.
Yep.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 of Lost Initiative, week 35. All right, Sam. I saw you consulting chat. What are we doing? Take it away.
Before you do that, Sam, I wanted to let you know that just 2 days ago, I think it was, I was streaming a character creation, just a random NPC I was making. Okay. And it was ended up being what was it? I think it was like a Tiefling Paladin or something like that, whatever it was. So I was making this character and I was rolling off of the wiki trinkets table to see what they are. And so there's 8 tables and each table has 100 items. So it's 800 items you could potentially roll from. And so I rolled, I think it was like table 8, number 84 or somewhere along those lines. And what ended up popping up was you find a golden nugget that no matter what you do, you cannot sell it to any seller. You think one time you heard one of the merchants complain something about a curse on that item. And I was like, holy shit.
What are the odds?
Really what are the odds? Well, I guess 1 in 800 that I rolled something that I completely made up off the top of my head 30 weeks ago. Okay, it was just pretty funny. I was like, oh my God, Sam has to know that the nugget is back. So anyways, go ahead, Sam.
Mathis, it might still be a tiefling, by the way.
No. You don't call a TIE fighter a T-fighter.
Nope. You also don't wear a T to a formal event.
But tief in German, I think, means deep. And so technically they're deeplings, as in hell.
Yeah.
It could very well be tiefling.
But Wizards of the Coast is an American company based out of California. So why would we be speaking German?
But Wizard of the Coast also said it was pronounced tiefling.
And the creator of GIF said GIF. So.
I'm just saying, man.
Are we still going on about this?
Apparently.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Okay. We're going to be like 80 years old and it's going to be like episode 5,000 and still arguing about whether it's
right. She is she's kind of like observing the boots from afar. And she's got her new amulet on. And she's like,
let's give this a try.
And she begins to approach the boots and immediately casts Aura of Shade on the boots.
So as soon as you cast Aura of Shade on the boots, so you cast Aura of Shade over in that vicinity, and everybody within 10 feet of the boots turn invisible. Are you within 10 feet when you do this, or are you hanging back a little bit when this happens?
Yeah, she gets roughly 9-10 feet away from the object. Drops it. I assume there's like other people there too.
There are other people. Like I said, there's a rope between you and them, keeping you about 5 feet away from the boots themselves. So there are other people that turn invisible as well, not just you. Several of them do. And the cool thing is Aura of Shade is a non-typical spell. That's not something that you just find sitting around in a wizard spellbook, right? So it's a little unique. As soon as that happens, roll for me a perception check.
Remember, you have inspiration.
He doesn't necessarily need to use it yet, though.
That's true.
Mathis.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Get the bad rolls out of the way. So,
he has been for an hour.
Yeah.
So you cast that. Obviously, you notice like after a couple moments, people are reacting to it. However, you don't notice anything really beyond the fact that people are very obviously reacting to the fact that you did this. And those people do, of course, include guards. What's your immediate next step?
I step over the rope and attempt to grab the boots while invisible.
Sure. You step over the rope and you attempt to grab the boots. And you do, in fact, grab the boots. You reach your hand over and you touch the boots. As soon as you touch the boots, instantly a dispel magic happens that dispels any spell of 4th level or lower, which means Aura of Shade completely disappears. Everybody in the area turns visible again. Mind you, guards are rushing over at the same time.
Now, Aura of Shade isn't affecting me. It's affecting the area. I don't know if the spell magic on the boots would work on the Aura of Shade.
It's a really good point. The dispel magic wasn't targeted specifically to you. It was targeted to every single person within a certain radius.
All right, cool. I'm going to invis and run.
Sure. Absolutely welcome to do that. No problems with that. So as soon as that happens, boof, everybody turns invisible again. You're like, oh, shit. And you go to physically pick up the boots themselves. You're going to pick up the boots themselves. They are, in fact, stuck. You're going to have to try to remove them.
Okay.
Would you like to roll for me a strength check?
Or just
Is it
run.
strength?
It would be a strength check to try to rip them
What
free.
are they on?
Literally just sitting clean on a platform. It's probably magic that's holding them there.
Okay, so if I just like destroyed the pedestal.
That's totally an option. Absolutely, totally an option. What magic would you like to use before you cast invisibility, of course? What magic would you like to use to destroy the pedestal that they're sitting on so they're no longer stuck there?
3 Eldritch Blasts.
Oh.
This has gone from sneaky to just like the loudest thievery of all time.
It's fine because
like when shit goes bad, whatever, everything gets exploded.
Eldritch Blasts are even force magic, which is a good thing in this situation. You're shooting an object, right? So you get Eldritch Blast. Now, of course, if you just want to hit the pillar, you're going to hit. You don't have to roll an attack roll. You just roll damage. However, if you're trying to have all 3 attacks hit the same exact spot to try to really weaken the area so you can rip the boots free, that's a different story, and you have to roll me attack rolls.
I mean, how big is the pillar that I need to try and hit the same spot? Like, isn't this just a little pillar I can just blow away, or what?
It is circumference is about 3 feet wide, made out of some sort of granite or whatever, some sort of stone. So it's heavy as crap, no matter what. If you're literally just trying to break the pillar, which who knows if 3 Eldritch Blasts is enough to break just a pillar in and of themselves.
Okay. I mean, all right. So what you're saying is I need to make attack rolls to destroy the pillar.
To try to pinpoint the destruction of the pillar. That would just make it quicker, make it better. That would make the breaking of that small area faster, as opposed to just breaking the pillar itself, like in half, and then it still weighs like 300-400 pounds.
Okay, yeah, let's make attack rolls.
Sure.
Fuck. This is. I mean, could I just fireball it? Like.
You could, but fire's not going to do as well against the stone as
the force damage. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So just 3 Eldritch Blasts, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a hit. It's a hit. The third one is not going to be able to hit the same exact spot a third time, but the first 2 definitely do. The third one still hits the pillar, just not the same exact spot. Roll me your damage for your first 2, and we'll see how the third one looks. Okay. All right, 16 points of damage, and then so 16 points of damage, and the last one isn't the same spot, but you rolled pretty close, and so you do damage nearby. You crack this thing incredibly so. You don't perfectly break free of the boots, but you know that exactly where they're stuck to this pillar is definitely compromised. While the guards are rushing at you, alarms are going off, all of this stuff is happening. We don't need to worry about all that, because as chaos is happening around you, it's kind of like you're in your zone of focus and you're the calm in the storm, the eye of the storm right now, right?
Thonk would be proud. Thonk would be proud.
While that's happening, he might be joining you soon. While that's happening, do you want to try to rip them away now, or do you think that casting one more time to really break the boots free is more?
All right, here's the thing. I have -1 strength.
I know.
I also have 7 + 7 charisma. So out of the 2 things, I'm absolutely going to hit it again. But I am not going to be able to pull them away with a strength roll. I am almost positive.
You could roll a nat 20. You're due for one at this point.
I don't think I'll get it.
Do you have any like inspiration? You could try for like roll an advantage or like a bonus. Do you have anything that gives you?
No. I mean, I have repelling blast as part of my Eldritch Blast too, so it's extra forceful.
You could also just go invisible and run.
Could I wrestle them through with a dex roll?
Because the fact that they're magically stuck down, sadly, no. You're gonna have to like this is a thing where Grommet can go, but you're not Grommet. You're doing it your way.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna have to attack it a second time. I'm not gonna get a strength roll.
Sure. You
Although
go right
I do have
ahead.
inspiration.
Yes, you do.
Do you want to trust your -1 with 2 20s and see if one of those working? Okay. No, fuck that.
I'm gonna attack. I'm gonna blow it up one more time.
Okay, you go right ahead, sir. Wow, all 3 are hits. Roll me your damage. Okay. And doesn't matter that third one. You did enough damage with the semi from before because you just barely missed and whatnot. You actually do blast the boots free. Unfortunately, when you blast the boots free, you've spent so much time here, cast the shade that alerted people, then you went up and you grabbed the boots, you cast the spells twice, all that stuff, that at this point in time, the good guys are there and ready for you. They are going to start attacking you with ranged attacks. So I'm going to do that right now. 3 of them are going to be attacking you with a type of modified crossbow. We'll get to that if they hit you. So where's Rye? There she is. Standard attacks. Okay, your AC is 12. 3 attacks came at you. 2 of them hit you. No critical hits. Of the 2 that hit you, they both did 8 points of electricity damage. As what happens is, as the bolts go flying towards you, the bolt itself doesn't have a piercing tip to it. It actually hits you with a strong electrical charge. Yeah, more or less, electrocuting you. So that happens there. However, somebody over by the actual front doorway, like over by the front door to this facility, starts casting a huge spell, weaving it, and just throws a huge web up into the doorway itself. So the door has like a huge interwoven web all around it. That's the main door. Not the only way out, but certainly the easiest. The boots are free. That's what happened so far. The boots are free. You can grab them without even trying, and you can cast your spell.
All right, I'm going to grab them and cast invisibility.
Sure, you cast invisibility. Could you do me a favor and roll me a perception check?
Maybe I should use my
Sam, what do you do now?
I guess I just like navigate away from the area of action, right? My plan here is to like vanish around a corner and then like disguise self as a guard.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you go rushing out of the area where everybody's focus is and whatnot, and certainly the attention is still on the area. Can you do me a favor as you're rushing away? Yep. Roll me an insight check.
Scott is giving you so many.
Telling me to roll stuff because you know
he's trying to help you, man. He's trying to help you.
Okay. So with your insight check, you notice that almost everybody in this museum here, almost everybody in this temple, they're looking and they're just seeing, they're just kind of like looking at where this happened, the fact that you disappeared. They're all like scared and whatnot, so on and so forth. However, you notice that all of the guards, the trained guards that are here, they're not looking at that area and they're not looking around. Where could he be? Where could he be? You notice that every single one of them are looking over in your direction. But more than that, you actually notice that they're not just looking in your direction. They're looking up. And then in your direction, you're like, oh shit, they know about where I am. Let me move away from here before I turn visible into a guard or whatever. And so you move over like 30 feet, 20 feet, whatever it is. You rush off to the side and they're still looking at you, but they didn't look directly at you. They looked up first and then they looked down at where you are.
Okay. So it's the cogs in the roof, right?
So when Rye looks up to see what's going on, she can see that every single
criminal spotlight that's following me.
Every single machine up there is whirring and whipping around extremely fast. And there are a few cogs over certain other people, but there are quite a few of them directly over you, whipping and spinning around over where you are. Why they're doing that, what they're doing, you have no clue. As a matter of fact, Sam, I will allow you to roll for me a, what would the roll for that be? You can roll religion or arcana, your call. I think they both suck for you. They do.
They're equally shit. Let's do Arcana though, because that sounds more.
One thing, just kind of like you don't remember the full meaning of it, but something like sits on the tip of your tongue. Mechanus? It feels like something mechanus aligned with what that is over my head, but you don't have time to stop and contemplate what that might mean. You're kind of hurried at the moment. What do you do here?
Put the boots on.
So you literally just like shit and you plop your ass down and rip off whatever boots you're wearing before and throw your cart boots on?
I'm like hopping along.
Okay, like quick change.
Yeah.
If you've ever done theater before, you know all about quick changing backstage. So so you're doing like a quick change, and doing the best you can to get those boots on. I mean, give me, because she's nimble. Give me an acrobatics with advantage on this one, so you don't fall and lose teeth. Yeah, you're fine. So you do an easy quick change to get those boots on. That's not a problem. We've talked about what those boots can do for you. Your feet are no longer in this plane. However, and when you get those boots on, you feel different. You literally can't feel your feet. You can't feel them. It's actually unnerving. It's actually disorienting at first. As a matter of fact, as you try to walk forward, you're stumbling forward and you flop down to the ground. You come to realize almost immediately, sure, you can wear these boots. And sure, technically they're working, but without a little bit of time to train with them, to attune yourself to them, they're probably not going to work in your favor.
Haven't you?
Huh?
You just got to make this hard.
Yeah, stealing from a Temple of Wonders is going to be an easy task.
I mean,
I still can't believe you have the boots.
there really is an easy way for me to get out of this. So.
You have 2 items too.
You see, Scott, I go to a place called the Shadow Plane, where I can move a lot faster than they can in the normal plane. And let me tell you something. These contraptions, they can't follow me in Shadow.
They can't. They can't.
Right? So let's go into Shadow. Let's go into the Shadow Plane.
And how do you propose going into the shadow plane?
I ask Axel nicely.
You ask Axel, can you bring me into the plane of shadows?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if I can do that. That's not his personality. Let me do this better.
I'm gonna ask the deity.
So you ask Axel that, and his response is literally like a, like what are you asking?
Rye's
and
Forget why not? Forget it.
I'm gonna ask he who I do not know.
Yep.
So get us out of here.
Ask, and you hear the woman's voice respond saying, "Oh, Rye, quite the mess you found yourself in, and now you're asking for aid out of this."
It's not like I ask often.
No, you don't. All right, well, I am willing to lend you a hand here.
Donk needed somebody like this.
However, you need to start getting things along. So if you're going to do this, if I'm going to do this for you, speak to Grommen. Grommen has a way to expedite things with your friend Ander.
Oh my god. Okay, fine.
You're willing to expedite? Yes. Okay.
Get me out of here.
And so literally the guards who are all making their way over to where you are and with their weapons out, and they can't see exactly where you are because you're invisible, but they know exactly where you are because like the whirring things over your head, they're literally rushing at you. There's bolts of lightning flying your way and stuff like that. As they're rushing at you, all of a sudden you see a couple of the bolts of lightning are going to strike true. There's no question. Like, help! Help! And the couple of bolts of lightning are definitely going to strike true when all of a sudden walls of iron appear around you, and as the lightning hits it, the lightning hits the wall of iron. Sadly, iron does conduct electricity, and so you do take a little from it happening, but it's not the full-on blast as you would have taken otherwise. It's a little bit of pain. You have a lot of health left, so don't worry about it. That happens, and then what happens is when you're inside this like little cube, effectively, of iron for a couple of moments, those walls fall away, and you instead find yourself in a very different place. You still find yourself in a city, this time on the streets, but this city smells of sulfur. The creatures around you, they don't look at you because you're a half demon. They look at you because you're only a half demon. You see yourself surrounded by some seriously twisted creatures, large beasts, small ones, slothing their way along and whatnot up these streets. A few interlopers that don't seem to be that like they belong here. A human and an elf in different areas, seeming to having arguing conversations with merchants on the streets and whatnot. Far, far, far off in the distance, you see a huge tower that rises far above the clouds, a huge tower made of iron. You don't know what it is. All you know is this place has this like imposing feeling on you. The air here is thick and it tastes like rust. It is not a comfortable place. You're here kind of like taking it all in, when finally, for the first time in ages, you see the woman that dropped from the heavens before you before, absolutely stunning in her clothing that she has, with her weapon to her side and all that stuff, standing over by a doorway, smiling at you and says, "Oh, darling, come along this way."
She goes.
As you step away, you notice that here, because this place doesn't cast shadow, not the way that it did where you were beforehand, Axel is no longer hiding in your shadow. As a matter of fact, Axel is completely materialized at your side as the werewolf shade that he is. And he's completely materialized at your side. And you notice that Axel is not a wimp by any means. I RP'd him a couple minutes ago, accidentally, kind of goofy. It was wrong. Axel's not a wimp by any stretch of the imagination, and he's not even alive anymore. Despite that, Axel seems scared with where you guys are. He seems intimidated. He is almost paralyzed with fear for a moment, when all of a sudden you kind of look back and you notice that he's like stopped before. Do you say anything to him, or?
Yeah, just say, "Oi!" and then nod.
And he quickly will rush up to be at your side, like being at your side is comforting. Eventually, you join the woman over by the doorway, and she smiles at you, and oh my God, her teeth are perfect. I mean, pristine. And she opens up the door, and inside you see that it looks to be some sort of shop. I mean, there are lots of different pots and pots and potion vials and various things all around. And she just kind of like gestures for you to go into the shop.
Yeah, Rye rolls her eyes and heads into the shop.
Okay. You go into the place and she goes in behind you. As you guys go walking in, the person on the other side of the counter starts speaking in a language that you don't Wait. You do. It makes sense to you. It's uncomfortable feeling, but it makes sense to you. You understand what he's saying. And he actually looks to her and she's like, he looks to her and he's like, "Oh, you've come back to sell me some more, have you? Or perhaps you've come to buy something." And she's like, No, I'm here for the portal. And so she completely brushes him aside and steps by, not even looking over her shoulder. As you're walking through the shop and you see this creature and what is back there, the creature that you're seeing, he's a large hulking form. I mean, probably 15, 14 feet tall if you were to stand at his full height. He has 8 arms coming off of him, but the arms aren't like typical humanoid arms. They almost seem like they're covered in a chitin, like some sort of bug or something like that. He's just this very alien looking creature. His face also has like a bit of a chitin to it. His eyes have many different facets to it. No mandibles or anything like that. Like pincers or anything like that. And you look at the creature. The creature looks at you, but looks at you almost hungrily. Without looking over her shoulder, she says to you, "I wouldn't touch anything." She's like, "I wouldn't touch anything, darling." And continues passing her way through over to another doorway.
She says that, but is there anything in this store that takes my eye?
Well, most of it seems to be rather drab and mundane and boring. Most of it seems to be not very interesting whatsoever. A few of the potion vials, because they're like clay pots with cork stuffed into the top of them. Like, what are they selling? Jam? However, there are potion vials, and every potion vial in here has a bit of a glow to it, a bit of like an inner beauty to them, or a swirl or a pattern that is something like you've never seen before.
Okay.
Do you do nothing, or do you just keep following?
Are they like in arm's reach? Like, could I just?
Absolutely, sure.
You're literally in hell to escape a thievery gone wrong.
I'll.
And then she's like, "Don't touch anything." He's like, "Can I touch it?"
Yeah, but can I touch it though?
Yeah, but like when someone
Can I
tells
touch
you
it,
don't
though?
touch anything, that normally means they're valuable. It's valuable shit.
Dude,
Maybe
do
she
it,
like
man.
cherishes
I'm for you.
like
I'm with you.
maybe she cherishes
for it.
what bits of your soul are left.
Do it. You know you want to. Roll for it. Roll for whether you do it. If you can't decide.
He's watching me hungrily, so it's not gonna be. I'm probably gonna get away with this. No, fine. It's fine.
Okay. You keep walking through.
My last attempted robbery turned into a full-on terrorist attack, so I should probably relax.
So you make it through to the other doorway, and when you make it through to the other doorway, she caresses the door in the frame of the door in a very specific way. And when she does so, she turns a knob, and the door opens to complete blackness, which we're going to get to in a second. She opens the doorway and opens up to complete blackness, and then she looks to you and she's like, "It's a good thing you didn't, because here it's a soul for a soul." And she steps through the doorway into blackness.
What does that even mean?
She follows.
Yep. And so you follow, and then the shade follows behind you. Here you find yourself tumbling through the deepest depths of the plane of shadow. You're far more comfortable here than you were beforehand. However, you have a guide that can get you through it very, very, very comfortably. And eventually she does spill you out of the plane of shadow, nice and comfortably back to your actual room, your room in the inn in the same city where you're now a wanted felon. And she tumbles you back into that same exact room. And when you come into the room, when you step out of the shadows, which is literally like a bit of shadow coming from underneath your actual bed itself. Have you ever seen Little Monsters? It's almost like one of those. We come out from underneath the shadows under the bed.
Yeah.
And as you come out, she looks to you and she says, "Remember, darling, speak to Grauman. He has the answer." And she'll just and disappear. In the room, by the way, you see Ander is passed the fuck out. He's drunk, like hung over, all that stuff, all sorts of messed up. Like, there's a bucket next to him. No vomit in it, though, right?
None?
Right, Mike?
Oh,
No vomit in it.
No vomit.
And Grauman's off to the side, like completely starfished on his bed, like. Obviously, he missed his morning workout because he got schmammered last night.
Ride takes off the boots and like wiggles her toes.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of like examines them. He's like,
Not bad.
and then climbs up onto her bed and just falls asleep, like hugging the boots.
Sure. A little bit later, Grauman, you wake up to seeing Rye lying in her bed hugging a funny-looking pair of boots. The boots are really weird because there's no bottoms to them.
Wait, I wake up and I see her looking at me?
When you wake up and you kind of like rub the crust out of your eyes and you like kind of roll out of bed into your push-ups or whatever you're doing. When you look over and you see Rye sleeping there, you see that she's hugging a weird-looking pair of boots. The boots themselves have no bottoms to them.
Okay. Grauman thinks it's cute.
Oh. Okay. After you start doing like your morning workout and stuff like that, whatever it is, Grauman, could you do me a favor? Could you roll me a perception check, please?
Sure. 13.
As you're going through the town, one of the things that you notice is that there are a lot of people in a bit of a frenzy because of the part of town that you're staying in or whatever. There's a lot of people that are a bit of a frenzy. You hear like a lot of guards are rushing around and trying to take care of things. You hear that there's word of there's a huge theft happening. Around the time that you're finishing your workout and finishing like you're relaxing, so about an hour later, whatever it is, you actually are jogging past a man standing by a wall, and he's holding a wand, and he's waving it over a blank poster. But as he's kind of like swishing it and waving over a blank poster, you see appearing onto the actual poster itself is a picture of Rye. Is actually appearing on the poster. And so it says, you see like a picture of Rye. Do you stop to like regard it for a moment, or you just keep jogging by?
I'm gonna wait for the wizard to go away, and I'm gonna take the poster.
I imagine Grauman's discreet way of waiting for him to go away is he literally stops short directly in front of the poster and continues jogging in place until he's like walks away. And then Grauman's like, mine, and keeps going.
Yeah.
Okay. You try to read the poster. Unfortunately, you can't read, so you don't know what the poster says.
You can read, not very well.
However, you do know what the numbers 1,000 mean.
Oh yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm worth.
And so
Kidding?
and so
A
you
lot of gold.
Dude, the one I gave them was like 9,000 gold.
worth a way more. So you bring the poster with you back to the end of your jog and go into the room. You finally make it to the room around when Anders like kind of waking up and his pillow is just saturated in drool. It's just disgusting. Ander, luckily you drank yourself enough that you didn't have any more visions that night.
Oh, Andrew's not gonna be a happy boy when he wakes up.
No, but you're hungover and you're there drooling or whatever.
Sleeping.
Yep, sleeping. And you come in and Anders still very groggy, but just coming to. Rye's still sleepy.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'm
do you wait
not
for?
gonna bother them if they're sleeping.
Oh, Anders awake. He's just groggy.
Oh, okay. I'm
Actually-
not going to alarm Anders.
Okay, if you don't talk to Andrew, he will not say anything. He'll continue just lying in the bed and attempting to go back to sleep, basically.
Not if Rye's sleeping.
So you wait until Rye wakes up. I guess you guys just more or less kind of kick around, have breakfast, whatever it is, until Rye wakes up.
Yeah, Grumman will.
Andrew avoids more or less. He actually avoids Grommen as soon as he's able to move and not want to puke.
Sure.
If Grommen
Anders
attempts to
gets up
talk,
and leaves, Grumman will go chat with him. If out of the room.
Yeah. So you guys will eventually find your way downstairs, get the food bit around the table as always. Go ahead.
no, not even like he'll see Grommen there and he'll leave. Ander has no interest in talking to Grommen, no interest in talking to anybody. He doesn't make eye
I guess
contact.
it's Grumman's eating and Anders walks by and Grumman's like, "Hey,
Fuck off.
you tell him fuck off."
Yeah,
Oh, fuck me, fuck you.
and
Grommen's
he
just
just
like-
leaves. He walks out.
What the? Grumman goes back to eating.
He's angry hangover. So
That's what Grumman's assuming.
a bit of time passes. We'll go back to you in a second, Maggie. Mike, you are walking out of the city. You're hungover or whatever. However, you're also able to make me a perception check.
Sure, perception check. 7. Why am I rolling with advantage? Disadvantage, rather. That's
I don't know.
weird.
Roll again without
Yeah.
disadvantage.
12.
Okay, so making your way throughout the city, it takes you a while to notice it because you're pretty hungover, but eventually you notice that there's like a serious buzz going on in the city, and that there are a lot of people regarding these recently put up posters. And so you out of just sheer curiosity, you eventually look at one of the posters. Maybe you walk straight up to it, maybe you look at it, it catches your eye, and that's why. But on the poster is Rye. And do you go and actually read the poster?
Yeah, no, if I see Rye, I'm still getting paid for this shit. So if I walk over to the poster and I'll just like rip it down and just like look at it.
Okay, so the poster says on there, wanted for wanted for theft of an artifact from the Temple of Wonders. Any information that leads to the capture, any valuable information that leads to the capture of Rye, and it says her name, Rye of Sant of Thesk, will meet the reward of 1,000 gold pieces. However, for those that are actually able to bring her in, dead or alive, with the artifact, will receive 10 times that sum.
Jesus Christ. How much am I getting paid for this job?
That's more like it. That's more like it.
Oh, God.
10,000.
Oh, God. He folds it up and pockets it and continues his walk. Just walks. That's a lot of money. That's like mansion in the middle of nowhere, around nobody, live a quiet, solitary life money.
Until one rainy day, you notice some quiet adventurers just trying to spend the night in your barn, and you're willing to open up your barn to them, and then they run ransack through the place and just steal everything you have. Because
God. All right. Well, no, he you see, there's like as he's looking at the poster, his face goes from recognition to disappointment to almost like a look of like contemplation, and then he just kind of folds it up a bunch and he pockets it and he just goes back on his walk. 10,000 gold. Fuck. God damn it. It's also like there's also like that confusion because it's like I've been with them for like a month and things are already going to fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
Did not take long.
Yep. So you contemplate that for a while, making your way around. Rye, eventually you wake up. What do you do?
Yawn. Oh. Check the boots.
They're there.
Hug the boots again.
You hug them again. Yeah.
Remember, the last night was a blast. And then remember that I need to speak to Grumman and groan.
Okay. Do you tuck the boots away, or do you intend to put them on?
I tucked them away.
Okay.
But then I realized I don't have any other boots, so I put them on.
Okay. When you go down to see Grumman, you just walk down the stairs to visit him?
As soon as Grumman because Grumman's paying attention just to the door to see if she comes out.
Yep.
He's gonna get up and meet her before she comes down fully.
Sure. Absolutely. Go right ahead. So Grumman comes walking right up to you.
And Grumman motions you to turn around and follow him back into the room.
Morning.
He follows you back.
You come here. And Grumman walks back, kind of like puts his arm around you, turns you around, and makes you walk with him back to the room.
She just allows you to steer her.
Gets back in the room, closes the door, and he hands you the paper. I find this. There are many of them, all over town.
10,000, eh?
Grumman looks at it again. Oh.
Rye points out, she's like,
It's because of these.
Rye's feet, it's not that Rye's feet aren't touching the ground because Rye's floating. Rye doesn't have the bottom of her feet. Like Rye's floating above the ground because the bottom of her feet are missing.
She's floating?
Yes, but because the bottom of her feet are missing. So it's almost like you have your foot and the ankle and like the bottom part of like the bottom of the foot is removed. Like she's missing part of her foot.
Can I notice this?
Yeah, now that you're looking, absolutely.
Okay. Oh no, what happened to your feet?
No, they're magical boots. Apparently I can walk on clouds. And water. Everything.
Wait, what? I want boots like that.
Yeah, that's why they're angry at me.
Wait, why are they angry at you?
Because I stole them. Now we gotta go.
We're under. We need to leave. Why you steal them?
Oh, they weren't selling them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. I need to ask you what to do next.
Well, we find Anders and we leave. But I don't think they let you leave.
Yeah, but where are we going?
I don't know, but not here.
What? You have to know. She said you would know.
Who said I would know?
Oh, the really hot demon girl.
Hot
I
demon
hate her,
girl.
but she's perfect.
Oh, you must let me meet her.
You probably don't want to.
Well, why not?
She's a pain in the ass. What? Where? How can you not know where we got to
Who
go?
are you? So maybe I do.
What the fuck?
Well, if you no steal those, I can chill. But no, now we have to go find Anders and we have to go run away and try to leave the town.
It was worth it.
The voice in your head that was giving the guidance to speak to Grumman says, no, Grumman doesn't know where to go, knows what to do to trigger Ander.
Oh. Wait, where's Ander?
I don't know. He angry at me for some reason.
Oh, for
He got really
fuck's
drunk
sake.
last night. I tried to hook him up with girl. He lame. But no worries. I got him back to sleep.
Do you mean like lame or lame?
Lame. Grumman
Lame
doesn't know
like
you.
it wasn't fun or lame like...
Oh. Grumman finally gets it. And then he's like, lame like no fun.
Oh, okay. Not that I care, just way you phrased it.
Oh. I know watch him do that. I would let him have privacy.
Can I message Anda?
He's beyond your just like 20, 120 feet or whatever it is. You don't have line of effect, so no. But
Okay.
you know he'll eventually come back. Like there's no question in your mind about that.
Well, I guess we just sit here then. Wait, I have an idea. Wait outside.
No. I think you wait here.
Wait outside, and I'll be out in a sec.
Well, you should not go outside.
Will you wait outside?
Okay. Grauman goes outside. But he
Okay.
doesn't go outside of the building. He just goes outside the door.
After like 2 minutes, the door opens and you're looking at Grauman.
Grauman.
I have an important question, Sam. Does this Grauman have the bottom of his feet?
Yeah, he's barefoot.
Okay.
And he's like, now are you twin?
I have twin. Grauman like hugs you.
When you hug, it immediately reveals that it's Rye.
She's like,
Oh.
don't hug me, you idiot.
Grauman gets like kind of a little sad, and then he understands what's happening, and he like
We
walks
go
out.
find Ender.
Okay, we find Ender.
Okay.
And he goes downstairs.
You follow.
Okay.
Grauman 2 follows you.
And as the Gromans leave the building, we cut to break.
Oh, no. I'm
No,
sorry. I do have to
alright.
say one more thing first before you go. As the Grauman twins are leaving and heading downstairs, one of the things you guys notice down the stairs is there are a handful of guards downstairs asking questions of the barkeep and whatnot, like, hey, do you know who this is? And holds up a poster. And the barkeep's like, oh, yeah, I know who that is. She's staying with a couple of friends. Actually, that's one of his friends right there. And gestures over at Grauman and is like, and him too? Like, really curious the fact that there's two Graumans. Like, and with that.
Grauman 2 is like, we gotta go.
And we will after the break. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.